Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Ranting and Raving with Kevin. And boy am I fired up today, because what a bunch of retarded bullshit, as Asmongold so poetically said, referring to the latest assault on free speech, this time directed at Steam, thanks to our dear friends at the ADL, led by Jonathan Rosenblatt, as well as the good senator from Virginia, Mark Warner. And it's just time and time again, like every week something like this happens where they got to go after somebody. And it kind of slowed down a little bit after Elon Musk bought Twitter and turned it into X. Of course, really ever since the election, we've had these these godforsaken people fleeing to Blue Sky, which all going to announce, I'm going to Blue Sky. Good, they'll let the door hit you on the way out. Get the fuck out of here. They go to Blue Sky, then I see they're reporting each other over there. So it's an endless cycle. Whereas people on my side, we don't really give a fuck. Say whatever you want. I don't even believe hate speech exists. Like, the big thing here, we're going to look at the articles from the ADL and from Mark Warner is hate speech and the rhetoric. There's no such thing as hate speech. What I say, you may deem hateful, but what you say, I don't deem hateful. So how do you even define it? It makes no sense. I personally, unless you're like physically assaulting me, that's hate speech. But if you're just saying some nonsense, shit posted on Twitter or Steam forums or 4chan, wherever else, you're not harming me. You're not harming anybody. You're having fun. Honestly, I'll let some pun intended, some steam off to do these things, type these things, to make a ranting and raving video. Because, we all need to get things out one way or another. And so people talk about it. And with Steam, particularly, their big thing is the anti-Semitic avatars, which what even is that? Pepe the Frog? Asuka with the Burger King hat from Evangelion? I mean, what are they talking about? The Odin Storm Sword 1488 is his username. Like, it's just fucking bullshit, man. Just lighten up a little. But Steam has a bunch of different ways you can talk amongst people, whether it's the forums or friend requests, you do private messages, voice chat, whatever else. And I think a lot of it has to do with the one user, Krabutas, I believe his name is, the Brazilian guy who did the DEI detector, Sweet Baby detector, and had all sorts of games where they labeled that. And, recently I've been playing Granblue Fantasy Versus, and I stumbled upon there's some censorship in the games, in the console games, that differs from the gacha game. As an example, in the gacha game, character will be wearing a short skirt, but in the console, not only will she be wearing the short skirt, but she'll have, like, short shorts underneath. So it's like, what the fuck are they doing that for? And people on Steam are explaining this and, showing the side-by-side of the images to illustrate their points. So that's what it all comes down to at a certain point. And, they'll point to one guy who's, whatever, got the Pepe meme, and it's hate speech. It's not. It's just fucking bullshit. But anyway, so PC Gamer, Steam accused of normalizing hate and extremism in the gaming community, a new ADL report, and then Asmongold. What a bunch of retarded bullshit. It is fucking bullshit. And here we have the good senator from Virginia, Mark Warner. New, I'm taking action against hateful and anti-Semitic rhetoric proliferating on Steam. We need to ensure that social networks aren't breeding grounds for extremist, violent groups. Shut the fuck up. What about your extreme violent group, buddy? I mean, get the fuck out of here. So here's PC Gamer. Steam accused of normalizing hate and extremism in new gaming community, ADL report. The Anti-Defamation League, who, by the way, defames people constantly. They defamed Elon Musk. I think it was years ago. Maybe it was months ago. Because how long has he owned Twitter for? I think it's only been 2 years. They were saying that Twitter is the breeding grounds for anti-Semitism. And then if you remember, Rosenblatt took him to Auschwitz. They're like, you gotta go to Auschwitz. We'll show you. It's like, what the fuck is that gonna do? It's unbelievable. For something that happened how many years ago? Unfucking believable. But anyway, the Anti-Defamation League, a U.S. organization, which conveniently has a lot of people who are dual citizens in Israel. Ooh, I wonder why. That aims to combat anti-Semitism, there it is, and support Israel, has published a report alleging Steam is rife with extremism and anti-Semitism. Are there examples? Can I see an example, please? And accusing Valve of allowing the spread of hateful and extremist material through a highly permissive approach to content policy. What the fuck does that even mean? The ADL said its report is based on what is described as an unprecedented platform-wide analysis of public data on Steam, including more than 458 million user profiles. What? 152 million profile and user group avatar images, and 610 million user comments. Again, what's the example? Is it Pepe the Frog? Is it Oscar wearing a Burger King hat? I mean, what is it? The ADL Center of Extremism found millions. What's the typo going on, PC Gamer? Millions of examples of extremist and hateful content, including explicit hate symbols like serenades and happy merchants. Oh no. Don't clasp your hands together too much. As well as copy pastas, that's like 4chan, green text. Blocks of text that are copied and pasted to the form images of long form writing shaped into swastikas being shared on the platform. The clear gaps in Steam's moderation of this content inflict harm. No, it doesn't. That's bullshit. If it does, you have a mental problem. I'm sorry. By exposing untold users to hate and harassment. Again, you can choose to go in said forum where you can hang out in your own forum and talk to your own friends. I mean, if people want to do their own thing, let them do their own thing. It's just ridiculous. I lost my spot. The clear gaps in Steam's moderation of this content inflict harm by exposing untold users to hate and harassment, enabling potential radicalization and normalizing hate and extremism in the gaming community, the ADL wrote. Understanding the extent of extremist and hateful content on the platform is key to fighting the proliferation of hate online. Oh my god, what a bunch of retarded bullshit indeed. I knew it! I knew it was going to be here. Pepe the Frog and swastikas are the most common extremist symbols found on Steam according to the report, respectively representing 54.6 and 9.1% of detected symbols. Pepe the Frog, man. The smug Pepe. Or Apu. It could be Apu. Helper. Unbelievable. The ADL also found tens of thousands of pieces of terrorism-related content on Steam community, including more than 15,000 public accounts with profile pictures featuring flags or logos of ISIS, Hezbollah, Hamas, and others. Wow, you got that side too. I thought they were just doing the right-wing extremism, but I guess they're talking about the left-wing extremism too. They rarely do that. Hundreds of accounts were found using profiles of white supremacist mass murderers. I'm not going to say their names. I don't even know who they are. As their avatar images. Game mods are also touched on in the report, which claim to have found hundreds of mods for games, most notably Gary's mod, that specifically reference mass shootings. The report says Steam's public-facing content policy includes no mention of hate or extremism, which isn't entirely accurate. The Steamworks documentation specifically states that content with hate speech doesn't exist. Speech that promotes hate, violence, or discrimination against groups of people based on ethnicity, religion, gender, age, disability, or sexual orientation should not be published on the platform. Steam's code of conduct does not make specific reference to hateful or extremist content, but does forbid harassment, disruptive or damaging behavior, and the violation of the personal rights of other users. More on point are questions about the application and effectiveness of Steam's moderation policies. The Jannies! The report says Steam appears to be technically capable of moderating content and has done so selectively in the past in response to external pressure. One example of that would be the removal of Pepe the Frog emoticons from the Steam marketplace following DMCA takedown notice filed by Pepe creator Matt Furry. What an unfortunate name. But its overall approach has been largely ad hoc, with Valve failing to systematically address the issues of extremism and hate on the platform. It's all fucking bullshit. Valve updated its community rules in 2023 to provide a much more granular breakdown of what is and isn't allowed, but as noted at the time, the real question was how it would go about enforcing these rules, because this has been an ongoing problem. We reported on Valve's hate group problem in 2018. Oh my god, they've been doing this for forever. And in 2022, U.S. Senator Maggie Hassan sent a letter to Valve boss Gabe Newell alleging a significant presence of users displaying and espousing neo-Nazi extremism, racial supremacist, misogynistic, and other hateful sentiments, and asking what Valve is going to do about it. Valve needs to make significant changes in their approach to platform governance, both in terms of policy and practice, to address the ways in which hate and extremism have proliferated on the Steam platform. As ADL has stated previously, policymakers must demonstrate their commitment to disrupting hate and harassment in online multiplayer games, while government is necessarily focused on the dangers posed by social media and AI. Policymakers must also pay attention to the immediate threats pervasive in online gaming environments. The ADL also put pressure on Twitch recently. Yeah, there's something going on with that where people aren't making as much money. That has to do with Hassan Piker, though, because he's pro-Hamas. He's on the other side of the aisle, which they banned Asmongold. Did they ban Hassan as well? I don't even remember. I don't watch Twitch. I do tend to follow Asmongold from time to time. Leading to temporary bans for a group of Arab streamers who made jokes at TwitchCon panel the organization interpreted as anti-Semitic. I've reached out to Valve for comment on the report and will update if I receive a reply. Yeah, I mean, you tell. We're going to look at the other article as well and just see if it's more of the same. But you guys tell me. I mean, I don't believe in hate speech. I don't think it even exists. And if you do think it exists, personally, I think you're a fucking pussy. You have thin skin. And you need to grow up and just accept that people have talked shit on the internet for years. When I was younger, www. The 3 W's used to stand for the Wild Wild West. That's what the fucking internet is. The Wild Wild West. Everything should go uninhibited, and you can do and say what you want. I mean, within reason. Again, if you're going to, threaten to do something to somebody, things like that, okay, whatever. But to just doing memes, this is all about memes. Pepe the Frog. It's fucking bullshit. It's retarded bullshit. So let's take a look at this other article. This is a more recent one. Steam is an unsafe place for teens and young adults. U.S. Senator, the good senator, the Democrat, by the way, Mark Warner of Virginia, who's been a senator since 2006. Get his ass out of there. Warns Gabe Newell of more intense scrutiny from the government if Valve doesn't take action against extremist content. Yes, the government needs to get more involved. Yes, help me, daddy government. Get the hell out of here, government. Mark Warner comes less than a week after ADL report accusing Steam of normalizing hate, and extremism in the gaming community. So there's Steam. Less than a week ago, Mark Warner has sent a letter. Oh, he wrote a strongly worded letter to Gabe Newell asking what the company is doing. What are you doing? You must fight this extremism. To combat the rise of extremist content on the platform, warning of further scrutiny from the government if Valve doesn't play ball. Dude, imagine if Mark Warner subpoenas Gabe Newell to Congress. I'd love to see it, actually. That'd be pretty funny. And if Gabe Newell shows up like a Chad, Steve, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Get out of here, government. I could see Gabe doing that, because he seems like the libertarian, free speech absolutist who is going to say no to Mark Warner. Say, get the fuck out of here, Mark Warner. Fuck you. That's what I would say to him. It has been brought to your attention before that extremist ideologies seem to find a home on Steam. They just seem to worm their way in there. Warner wrote in his letter, in 2022, Valve received a Senate letter identifying nearly identical activity on your platform, and yet 2 years later, it appears Valve has chosen to continue a hands-off type approach to content moderation. Absolutely! Thank God Steam does that. Allows some of your users to engage in sustained bouts of disturbing and violent rhetoric. You know what's disturbing is this fucking transgenderism going on. That's disturbing. Rather than ensure that all of its users can find a welcoming and safe environment across the platform. Again, he's talking about the forums, private messages, things of that nature. You don't have to go into the forum where they're talking about whatever you don't like. It's simple as that. Don't go to that forum. Go to your own forum. What's the fucking problem? What am I missing? I guess I don't get it. I really don't get it. In the 2022 Senate letter referenced by Warner, written by U.S. Senator Maggie Hassan, she said Steam has a significant presence of users displaying, espousing we already read this, misogynistic. Oh! Alright, so let me just scroll down a little bit more. What is this? As Black Friday and the holiday buying season approaches, the American public should know that not only is Steam an unsafe place for teens and young adults to purchase and play online games, but also that absent a change in Valve's approach to user moderation and the type of behavior that it welcomes on its platform, Steam is playing a clear role in allowing harmful ideologies to spread and take root among the next generation, Warner wrote. So now it's, the video games are causing extremism in the children. This reminds me a lot of Senator Joe Lieberman of Connecticut back in the 90s of Mortal Kombat, the blood and gore, which, by the way, Joe Lieberman was also a Democrat, and I'm so sick and tired of hearing fucking ignorant people say that, it's the Republicans censoring things. I've just shown you 2 examples. I'm not sure about Maggie Hassan. I assume she's a Democrat as well, but I have no idea. But Mark Warner and Joe Lieberman, both Democrats, trying to censor free speech. And it's fucking bullshit. I'm sick and tired of hearing it's the Republican censoring shit. You know, going back to Dragon Quest III remake and how they censor designs there, and even how Yuji Horii acknowledged such things. And God forbid the conservative gamers bring that up. You're the people who want to censor it. No, dipshit. You're the one censoring it. We're advocating against it. Like, is it that difficult to understand? Warner also warned, somewhat ominously, he's fucking ominous now, Jesus, that if Valve does not adopt industry standard moderation practices, whatever that means. I like how PC Gamer added that. What does that even mean? That is pretty ominous. It will face more intense scrutiny from the federal government for its complicity in allowing hate groups to congregate and engage in activities that undoubtedly puts Americans at risk. That's such fucking bullshit. Yeah, we need the government to get involved even more, get involved in the fucking videos. One of the few things that people like to do to escape the bullshit going on in the real world, to play video games, to relax, unwind, and we got this asshole, Mark Warner, saying, oh, I'm going to be ominous about it and sneak in there and shut it down. That's what the ADL loves to do, shut it down. Okay, let's continue. There's an aspect of irony to the complaint. Elon Musk turned Twitter into a haven for racism and far-right rhetoric. What? After all, and he's being rewarded with a high seat in the incoming U.S. government, part of Doge, by the way, with Vivek Ramaswamy. It's also not clear what the U.S. government could do to force Valve's hand. Hate speech in the U.S. is broadly protected. It is! Hate speech doesn't fucking exist. God, PC gamers actually agree with me, very surprisingly. Yeah, it is protected. I can say whatever I want within reason, and hate speech doesn't exist. And as a privately held company, Valve is not subject to pressure from external shareholders who might not be comfortable with its permissive attitude. At the same time, questions about Valve's content moderation policies have persisted over the years, and it does sometimes seem inclined to let monkeys run the circus. We said in a 2018 report on Valve's hate group problem that Steam's problem isn't so much the absence of rules as the failure to enforce them. Oh, okay, so yeah, I guess Steam, when you do sign up, has the terms of service, and there might be some stuff written there, but it's probably really vague, and they do have a hands-off approach. It's like, well, you know, it's not harming anybody. It's fucking bullshit. Stay away. Government, stay the fuck away from my video games. Valve updated Steam's community rules in 2023 with a more detailed breakdown of what is and isn't allowed, but enforcement, or lack thereof, remains an issue. Not really. Warner's letter concludes with a series of 10 questions, several of them multi-part, covering broad topics like enforcement practices to more granular stuff, including internal definitions of terms, the number of content moderators working at Steam, and the commitments it will take to ensure that it has meaningfully curbed white supremacist, anti-Semitic, terrorist, Nazi, homophobic, transphobic, misogynist, and hateful content by November 15, 2025. Oh, we have the deadline. You have a year to resolve this or else. Get the fuck out of here. If I was gay, I'd say, get the fuck out of here, Mark. But anyway, see, this is the reason why free speech is so important. It's a lot of fun to just talk about these things and get it all out and talk about it in the joking way as I have. Well, now that he brings that up, I want to go back to Mark Warner's page, and we'll click this because I think this might be his letter. I'm not going to read the whole letter because I've already done enough reading here, but he said the questions or whatever, the hate images, and all right, okay, here it is. ADL, 900,000 users. Yeah, here's some things. 1488 shekel and white power. Oh, those are the words that they're using. Oh, we can't say that. Okay, here's the questions. So please provide answers to the following questions no later than December 13th. Oh, what if he doesn't comply? I mean, this is like homework or something. And in line, provide answers in line with the questions and not a narrative that attempts to answer multiple questions. All right, describe Valve's current practices used to enforce them. Encouraging real-world violence. Okay, I will concede with this. Obviously, I'm against that. I don't encourage real-world violence whatsoever. Inappropriate content. That has to be more specific. Like, what's he talking about there? I mean, child porn. Obviously, I'm against that. Real or disturbing depictions of violence. They'll probably railroad that, use it against shooters, you know, Call of Duty, games of that nature. Grand Theft Auto 6, I mean, that's going to be a really realistic depiction of violence. But, you know, the game should exist, obviously. Violate others' personal rights, harassing, troll. You know, if you're on the internet, expect to be trolled, Mark Warner. I guarantee all the comments here are trolling him. Like, no, you don't. Stay out of games, protect free speech. Smash JT. This is stupid and illegal. See, everyone's trolling him. So, is that illegal for them to troll him down there? Blah, blah, blah. What's this down here? How many allegations did Valve receive from users about potential violations of the conduct policy? Include your responses each date when the policy was changed, updated. So this is all legal mumbo jumbo. Approximately how many human content how many Jannies work there, boy? Well, the government will send the ADL over there. How many are in-house employees? Maybe they're all outsourced to India. That could be the case. What steps does Valve take to prevent, monitor, and mitigate extremist, white supremacist, terrorist-related content? Provide the definition Valve uses internally to define each of the following terms and behaviors from the conduct policy in order to evaluate potential violations of said policy. What commitments will Steam make to ensure it has meaningfully curbed white supremacist, anti-Semitic, terroristic, Nazi, homophobic, blah, 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 blah. Everything's phobic. Transparency. The research from 2019. I can't read this. This is all fucking bullshit. I greatly appreciate your swift attention to this matter and look forward to revealing your response. I'd love to know if Gabe, like, what his response is. Like, Gabe should hold a press conference or put out a statement and say, you know, fuck off, Mark Warner. But yeah, that's about all I had to say on the matter. Please leave a comment down below if you have anything else to add, if you agree, disagree, anything. I'm always willing to talk. And, you know, I love doing Ranting and Raving with Kevin, my favorite series on the channel, because I can just let loose and speak my mind. And really, I thought Asmongold put it best when he said, what a bunch of retarded bullshit. And I'm so glad we can go around saying retarded again. Like, it's a great word. And I'll never forget that one time at the Trump rally when they were interviewing those young guys. There was two of them, and they were asking about Joe Biden, why they didn't like him. And the one kid astutely said, he's a fucking retard.
Rent, is it gas, is it food? Like,
he's just a sleepy fuck. As a 17-year-old, I can't afford gas anymore. He's a jit. I mean, come on.
So it's the gas.
Yeah, it's the gas.
All right.
Fucking retard. We gotta get somebody serious back in office.
There you go.
Come on.
Hey, there you go. Close the border. Close the border.
Too many. Come on.
Close the border. High gas prices. These guys know. I appreciate it.
And he said it just like that. It's like, yeah, that's how people talk. Old Joey's a fucking retard. It's same with Mark Warner. And we need to bring back saying retarded and gay. You know, this whole situation is fake and gay and queer. But it's fun to see other responses and just how everyone's up in arms about this, saying, you know, fuck off. Like, you got this hot blonde chick here, Savvy. Oh, yeah. So, she's in there fighting the good fight. And, yeah, the ADL is a fraudulent organization. Absolutely. I completely agree. And we need to stop it. Asmongold, what's he... Oh, I'm not going to watch the video, but there's a video there. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Everybody have a great day, and peace out.
99.